and that's everybody's answer of, why aren't we going to the moon all the time, or why aren't we going to Mars? The amount of power, because all we have is combustion engines, and
Yeah.
the amount of power that it takes and the amount of fuel is just not efficient for what we need to do.
Absolutely.
We really need a different fuel source, and we haven't quite got there yet.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they were talking about in that Bob Lazar documentary on Netflix.
Mhm.
Of if you haven't seen it yet, which I know you probably
I've
have.
I've gotten through half of it actually.
Yeah, so he was contracted as a scientist in the mid '80s to work at a place called S4 or S2
S4.
S4,
Yeah.
yeah, which is about 15 miles away from what we know as Area 51.
Yeah. Groom
And,
Lake.
and they kind of recruited him because he was this scientist working at Los Alamos, New Mexico, where they did a lot of the missile testing and things like that, and he had a rocket powered car,
Like a car. He rocket powered everything.
yeah,
that guy,
rocket powered bicycle,
Mhm.
and he's young, he's in his 20s, so they recruited him, and he claims that they had 9 spacecrafts, and they were working on reverse engineering the mechanisms, and what he says is it was a gravitational wave producing
Right.
reactor. So whereas we have like an electromagnet that we can flip a switch and produce a electromagnetic field, we don't have anything on Earth that can produce gravity waves. We just experience gravity because we're on a massive object, and
Right.
if we go to a larger massive object, we have more gravity. But he claimed that there was this reactor that you could basically flip on, and it creates a force field, it creates gravitational waves, and that's the propellant, which would be far more superior than a combustion engine.
Yeah.
And his theory is that the reason that we have it is because whoever reverse engineers and figures out that technology on Earth, they win.
Yeah.
If you've got with military implications. And
Yeah.
it's sad that we're still in that mindset.
Sure.
Versus, because he said it's backwards of typical science. They compartmentalize everything so that he only works on this project, and these scientists are kept separate and they work on this project. And he said that's not the scientific community. The scientific community is to work on everything at the same time and problem solve and come up with a solution. So that it's an interesting story. If
It is.
anything else,
I want to believe him. I'm like Agent Mulder, man. I want to believe. Although
Yeah.
I'm more like Scully,
Mhm.
but I'm like that poster in his office. I want to believe,
Yeah.
but I just don't see the evidence. There's some
Right.
compelling things like the gimbal and go fast video.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
I think what makes people believe Bob Lazar is that things that he's said in the past have kind of come out
Right.
as being verified by other people.
Sure.
And the way it was handled about, them erasing his birth certificate and erasing his credentials, but still having stuff like a newspaper clipping that can verify it, or real people that were like, yeah, he totally worked there, and
Yeah.
identifying the hand badging system. It was this thing that you put your hand in, and it measures the bone length of your fingers, which is, I guess, individual, like a fingerprint. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
And he told people about this, and they were like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Well, they found the device,
Mhm.
and he, it was exactly how he described it. And
imagine what they have now.
Yeah.
That was mid '80s.
Mhm.
They probably got retinal, all
Yeah,
kinds of
probably
retinal,
retinal.
facial
Mhm.
recognition, all that.
And I always think about the things that the government accidentally gets leaked, or the things that they're telling us. Imagine the things that they're not telling us.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
and again, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the people that are going to try to storm Area 51.
Yeah.
Area 51, as much as I want to know what's going on out there, we all know it's there. It's there, but in the interest of national security, it's better for a lot of us to not know what's going on out there, because
Right.
the SR-71 was built out there. I mean, that's where Skunk Works did all their work.
Yeah, I think those stealth helicopters that SEAL Team 6 used
Right.
in the Obama, that's where
That's right.
they had to fly to get them or whatever and test them. And so that's a lot of things that people see as stealth bomber,
F-117.
Yeah, they're seeing it being tested, just like Bob said, every Wednesday night when traffic is the lowest. He brought his friends out there and said, you're going to see this and you're going to see that.
Yeah.
And that's probably the stuff that they're seeing
Yeah.
before it comes about. And you always think they and the government. Well, it's real. It's just people.
Yeah.
All the people that are out there right now at Area 51 working on classified stuff all go, they may go home to a family, they have kids, they're only going to have a lifespan of 60, 70 years, and they're going to get replaced. There's new people. They're just like us.
Yeah.
And so there is no really they, it's us.
Right. Yeah, and it's absurd that they want to storm the place because replace Area 51 with Fort Polk or Fort Hood.
Right.
Let's all storm Fort Polk.
Yeah.
You people are insane. They're just going to bring out the AH-60s and drop
Mhm.
hellfires on you till you stop.
Yeah.
And it's only going to take a couple with a dozen or few people or so people to die. And the rest of them are going to be like, I've made a mistake. I'm not going in now.
Yeah, because we're obviously talking about an internet joke. I don't think that it's actually going to happen.
I don't either.
I think people may go to the town
Yeah.
and do an event. But what's scary is that flat Earth theory also started as an internet joke. It started as a troll, and people grabbed a hold of it, and now it's an entire society that has like an annual convention.
Mhm.